Yo, that was big brain, bro. Clearing up top.
Okay, moving back there. Big stack.
I disconnected, lost internet first.
What is up, everyone? Mr. Lord Zelly here. Today I'm bringing another medium Stamplar PvP build, but this time it's for Midyear Mayhem. If you want to watch more footage of this build, catch me live streaming Midyear PvP every day on my Twitch, and the link will be in the description. So let's go over the stats briefly. I am sitting at 30k HP, 27k Stam, and 18.9k max Magicka. Weapon damage actually soft buffed. We're sitting at 6.3k before many other buffs. The highest I've seen this in group PvP has been 9k, I believe I think it was 9,043. Our crit will stay front bar, about 32% crit, and it can go higher depending on what you have in Citadel, what scroll buffs or keep buffs, whatever gives you the extra crit. Our stamina recovery is 1,208 before other buffs, before a pot, before the rune, the passive rune stamina recovery gives you, or any other like endurance buff. Our physical pen is 5.4k, but trust me guys, this build still hits very hard. We have other ways to get fracture. Our resistances will be 23k spell and 20k physical on the front bar. While on the back bar, it'll be 25k spell and 22k physical. Of course, we're keeping the minimum of 2.2k critical resist. I think this is just too important to give up. Crit damage is absolutely insane right now. If you could get more than this, you're more than welcome to. We have 53 points into stamina, 11 to HP. I got used to not using alchemist during the test, so I actually had 11 points into health. If you think this is too much health for you, I mean, honestly, I think 30k is a pretty good spot, mainly because of all the bombers right now in Citadel. Sometimes the extra HP does save you, but you can always put 11 back into stamina here. Now we are using the Serpent for recovery, of course, since the regen is very low in this build, and we are using Bewitched Sugar Skulls. So you can use Artaeum if you want more recovery or anything like that. I do spam the AoE cleansing ritual for the group often, and I do proc my Race Against Time a lot. I try to keep mobile, and I try to drop cleansing for the players I am grouped with. Now let's get to the sets. We are using 6 medium pieces and 1 heavy. If you want to go 2 heavy, or maybe even 3 heavy in this build and 4 medium, by all means go for it. The extra resistances do go a long way. I just have been too lazy to honestly craft a heavy chest or go farm Undaunted to get a heavy Balorgh shoulder. Everything is in pen, and we have 4 tri-stat pieces, starting with the big pieces here, and then the shoulder. So let's start with the Balorgh monster set. So we have a heavy helm, of course, again it's in pen with the tri-stat enchant, and a medium shoulder. Balorgh is just, it's very important for dumping. It hits super hard, man. It makes your initial Dawnbreaker and anything else after it just hits so hard. I think this is very important because I'm the group lead and people drop depending on where I drop. So I gotta make sure my Dawnbreaker puts in work before everything else does hit. Even if you're not the group lead, you still want your ultimates to really take out the enemies. I think this is just one of the best in slot sets for almost any scenario. Now on the body we have 5 New Moon Acolyte. This set, even after the nerf, they got nerfed by like 80 something weapon damage. I think that's pretty irrelevant. You still get a lot of effective weapon power, and you actually get more effective weapon power with New Moon Acolyte than you do with a set like Clever Alchemist. This gives you crit, weapon damage, more penetration, and a flat amount of weapon and spell damage. It increases the cost of your abilities by 5%, but this isn't a stay in combat type of build. So you're going to go in there, you're going to drop your ult, you're going to cleave a few times, and you're going to get out. You're going to repent all the bodies and get all your stand back and get out. Really, really good set, in my opinion. 100% uptime, no proc condition. The next set we are using is Clever Alchemist. If you can go this out, I would. Just because you want to maximize your damage potential. But I just don't feel like going in and out with how expensive everything is. But this gives you 2 lines of maximum health, 1 line of weapon damage, and then when you drink a potion you get 659 weapon damage for 20 whole seconds. This set is honestly so good. If you can utilize the set and like know when to proc it, it's just absolutely disgusting. You can save your pop right before you go on ult dump, pop this and go ult dump, and bang, you got all 3 of your sets with a fat Dawnbreaker. We're using this Backbar only. The Clever Alch sword, this is just what I had. My defending axe was on another character, and again, I'm just too lazy to swap over. But Nirnhorn has been okay. You want defending or powered, in my opinion. But I also do some dual builds where Nirn's still relevant, so this is why I haven't trade changed this again. But you can go defending if you do have this. I would do a defending axe and a shield. Why an axe though? Oh, well, I mean, in case you do go dual wield Backbar, you can get extra crit healing or something. You go dual wield. But reinforced shield, max damage chat, and then a Nirnhorn sword with minor brutality poisons on the Backbar. If you don't have a DKing group, this is really nice. This procs a lot. It's just really good, gives you extra power when you go and ult dump. So you can do a heavy attack, pop your Clever Alch, go to your front bar, you drop your ult, that procs Balorgh, you have your 5 of New Moon already procced, and you got your cleave spam. So this is where we have Masters, Great Sword, Sharp. Honestly, you can use a sword, axe, or even a maul. Best in slot in my opinion is still the sharpened greatsword, because you still get a lot of pen and then you get lots of weapon damage from it. You can go maul, you can even go an axe if you have very, very high crit. All I'm going to say is that they stack super hard, and you have this no matter what type of two-hand sword you have, you are going to be killing people. I just had this one and I didn't want to go out anything else. Mainly because everything's so expensive right now. But this is the bread and butter of this build. It's really strong, really, really strong. If you don't like New Moon Acolyte or Clever, and if you want to keep one of these sets but not keep them both, you can always go like 5 7th Legion on the back bar, so you can put jewelry here and go sword and board to 7th Legion, since it procs off of your rune, and you only have that buff on your back bar mainly. So you can proc it, drop it at better uptime, and then you'll have 7th Legion instead. Now you could always go like 5 Clever on the body, in case you're not good at popping your back bar only, or you fat finger it or whatever and you pop it on the wrong bar. And you put 7th on this back bar here, 7th pieces here, and then sword and shield, and have Clever on the body. Whatever you want, anything like that works. But we are infused weapon damage. I don't know if I went over that. Everything's in pan. 6 medium, 1 heavy. Sharp greatsword. And sword and board back bar. With changes to defending if you can. Defending or powered, in my opinion. And brutality poisons. And of course we have the Berserk enchant, the weapon damage enchantment for the front bar. So now let's get to the skills. So front bar, we have Expert Hunter for the passive weapon damage, minor Berserk when flanking, and the 100% uptime for major savagery, since we aren't using jabs in this build. Here, this is where we utilize Master's 2H. This is Brawler. We're not using the one that gives the dot damage because I think it's pretty irrelevant. This damage shield is absolutely disgusting. Since it is your spammable, you keep proccing the damage shield. And if you drop this on like 10 plus people, you're not only going to hit like 10k plus cleaves, you're going to have like a 10k plus shield as well. The shield is very underrated in my opinion. There's been times where I don't have time to go on my back bar to heal myself with vigor, and I'll just keep cleaving, and the shield, the 10k plus shield when I'm getting zerged will keep me alive more than the healing sometimes in certain scenarios. It's think of it almost like a burst heal in a way. But yeah, this is just spammable, and it's really not that bad at all. This is your AoE Executioner. Being honest, with how Cleave is right now and it's undodgeable, I'm honestly thinking about dropping Reverse Slice and putting Caltrops right here, or maybe something else to give me another passive ability. Not sure yet exactly, but in most cases, when your enemy is low HP and you're gonna hit them with Reverse Slice, a Cleave will kill them too. Sometimes they roll dodge when they're low HP and you can just hit them with Cleave instead and that'll kill them instead. Versus tanks and stuff though, this is pretty nice. You can, when they're low HP, you can hit them with a Turn Evil and go into Reverse Slice, or you could put Executioner back on and just keep Execution when you know you gotta finish the tank of your targets. Now, next ability is Turn Evil. This is a AoE unblockable stun, and it even gives me some passive weapon damage from the Fighter's Guild skill line. It also gives major protection. Sorry, not major, minor protection to your allies that stand in the rune as well. I think it's a great ability. It's really good when you're getting swarmed and you have a dude that's like, he doesn't have race against time or anything, and he's in the back getting zerged. You can run to him real quick, drop a rune, and keep running with him. This can save lives. So next we have Rally. Burst Heal gives us minor endurance. So does Turn Evil, but it's not bad to double dip on something like that. We're not even using this for the minor endurance. So this increases your Stam recovery by 15%. It gives you, you know, your major brutality source, and it gives you a burst heal. Our ultimate here is Dawnbreaker, or again the passive skill line of Fighter's Guild, or the passive in Fighter's Guild. So we have 9% extra weapon damage on front bar because we have 3 Fighter's Guild abilities. This ability hits really hard. I've hit, like, I think the highest Dawnbreaker I've hit actually just yesterday, since it was the first day of Midyear, was a 24k Dawnbreaker fully buffed. It's been nuts. I hit super hard in this build and I'm just hammering people. Another important thing about using this instead of Crescent Sweep, I would use Crescent Sweep if I'm not group lead, but since I am group lead and this doesn't cost too much, this CCs everybody and hits them super hard. I need my initial hit to hit hard and keep everybody CC'd. So I'm using Dawnbreaker instead of Crescent Sweep. So Backbar, we have Race Against Time for the root snare removal, minor force to maximize crit damage, and it gives us a controllable major expedition proc. Very important for root play. Now this is our slot that can be adjusted to what your group is missing. So if you're missing AoE Fracture, you can put Caltrops. You can even go like bow here. This is actually what I'm going to level later today. I'm going to get the root version of Arrow Spray just to add a root for your old dumps. Or like you can even, like if you're sorting board still, you can put on the minor heroism version of low slash, what's it called, heroic, just for some more ult regen. Like anything like that does help in the long run. But for now, I have Repentance. This gives me the minor recovery buffs, and it works off of corpses. So if you read here, it says this heals you. Sorry, I'm yawning. So if you read the tilted thing, whatever, this heals you depending on how many corpses are around you, and it also restores your stamina for each corpse. This can act like a breath of life in certain scenarios. This can give you like a 12k plus heal while giving you like a 20k like stamina like regain recovery. It's absolutely insane. It's like better than popping a pot. If you go to ult up a group and you have 1k stamina left and you kill like 9 people, guess what? All of your stam is back. You literally get all of your stam back. It's an amazing ability, and you can stack this with those Stamplars now. Next is your Restore and Focus buff. So this gives you your major resolve, of course, and it gives you 242 stamina every 1 second. And this also heals you now. And the heal can crit. It's really nice when stacking with Echoing and stacking with Extended Ritual. Next is Extended Ritual, speaking of. This is for your self-cleanse, a good uptime on minor mending, and then a group Purify Synergy. Really good ability. Costs a lot, which is why we are using Sugar Souls currently. Really good ability overall though. Next we have Echoing Vigor. When stacked with like about 2 to 3 other Echoings, it makes up for the Resolving morph, and your whole group gets it. This heals everybody. Full buffed, I think, especially when you're a keep, I've seen this hit 20k plus. If you get multiple 20Ks for Echoing Vigor, it is really, really nice. Next we have Solar Prison. Instead of using something like Remembrance, since we do have a Harmony tank in the group, we drop this sometimes when I have more than enough ult. Instead of using Dawnbreaker, I'll drop this, the tank will go in, he'll pop that, and bang. Giant AoE ability that can literally one-shot most players. It hits insanely hard, and then it also gives major maim to everybody that is hit by it. It's really good. Good damage mitigation. Hits really hard. I think this is pretty great. If you don't want to use this, you can use Sword and Board ult when you need to get away. You can use Undo. I don't recommend stuff like that though, because I think they're very greedy for group play. I think it's nice to use something like Remembrance that'll keep everyone alive. But if you're the dude that needs to get away, because your group wipe, Sword and Board ult would be nice, or even Undo, so you can break people's ankles with Undo. Alright, so to go over the CP briefly, you literally get all the passives here, because you should have more than enough. But the main ones that you want to get is Fighting Finesse for the crit damage, Mash at Arms for the straight up direct damage increase, Backstabber for even more critical damage done, and Biting Aura since we are pure AoE. Those are the main ones that you want to look into, guys. If we go to these extra trees here, get Quick Recovery, get Hardy, and get Elemental Aegis if you can. And definitely get Blessed for that extra healing. And don't forget about Piercing in this line here, and get your Battle Mastery and get Mighty as well. Outside of that, I do not recommend something like Untamed. It just gives so little for how much it is. These modifiers right here are much better than 100 extra spell damage, 100 extra weapon damage. I got the extra Magicka, get the extra crit chance. This is very important, especially if you're using Backstabber and Fighting Finesse. And get Tireless Discipline as well for a little bit of extra max stam. Now, if you don't want to use one of these and you feel like you're too squishy, you could always drop. I would recommend dropping something like, honestly, probably Fighting Finesse or even Backstabber. You drop either of those, in my opinion, and you can put like Duelist Rebuff, or even get like one of the healing here, like a healing CP. Now in this tree, we are focused on Rejuvenation for the Tri-Stat Recovery. We're using Boundless Vitality for extra HP. We're using Juggernauts, so when we are CC'd or we have crowd control immunity, we take 10% damage reduction. Here I'm using Bastion because it's 15% extra damage versus shielded targets. Yeah, that's very specific, but I don't really ever build for damage mitigation. But you can always drop this and put like Survival Instinct on, or like anything else, you know, anything else that you find really nice. And of course, get all your passive champion points. Speaking of, is that another 10 right there? Yeah, this is just, you get all these extra yellow lines and you should be good to go.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right?